are so hot. Now, I got to tell you also, tonight is going to be what, Vic? Another live, virtually uncut?
Virtually uncut. You know how it is. It's the animal that's in us all, and we have a hard time accepting that our body and mind focuses on procreation, sexual relationships of all types, and you have to deal with it. So the questions are very, very direct.
Direct and hot. So be there tonight for Virtually Uncut. And also, tonight, scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, is supposed to be the premiere. It is. Not just supposed to be, it will be. What's the matter? You choked?
You do not do a promotion with supposed to be.
You're
indecisive.
Because we haven't heard the official announcement. See, there wasn't an official announcement. But there was an unofficial announcement. But that's okay because, see, some stuff is done stealth. You know how Prince would just show up and do a concert, out of nowhere? So that's the way this premiere is. That's why no one heard about it prior till today. Normally, for a premiere, Vic, we would have let people know way in advance, but this is a stealth.
So you're equating this launch and this celebrity to Prince?
Well, I'm saying yes. This is an insider event tonight at 7:30 here at Pax Stereo Pacific Standard Time. An insider event where only the most gifted, the smartest, the most insider folks will be, as we have the premiere broadcast of the Trey Love Show.
With a special guest, I hear.
A special guest, Little Zane, who's going to be continuing. Little Zane, that's the rapper.
Yeah.
Check him out. He's going to be talking about his New West saga, which is continuing the New West saga.
Right.
He's going to be there with Trey Love. Full, it's a half an hour show.
Yeah.
7:30 to 8.
Yes, sir.
Right on time. It's going to be blistering right on time.
And if they're not on time, of course, you'll know.
It'll be a 20-minute show. And it could be a 15-minute show.
Trey's watching this right now.
But we think it's going to be a half an hour show.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward too. And I understand there's plenty of secrets. Ladies and gentlemen, there's plenty of secrets and a lot of excitement. I understand that the uproar out there amongst the female community is such that I've heard that right now panties are just being found all over Los Angeles as women discard them to prepare themselves for tonight's stealth premiere.
So what that tells you is that during our broadcast,
a lot of pantyless people.
Yeah, year and a half.
I took mine off.
We've had no one throw panties, and now
they throw drawers at us.
Okay.
Because our people are a little older.
All right.
When they're young, they panties. Our group throws drawers.
I'm just trying to find out, man. I'm just trying to find out how come we don't get that kind of uproar. Obviously, we need to step up our game.
I'm telling you, man. I'm trying. I'm telling you, I start the day with 2 Red Bulls and a Viagra. Doing the best I can.
I'll start with Viagra and just take it from there.
Well, all right. Well, let's get to the neo-urban news pod, ladies and gentlemen, because, this is such... How do we do the news? We get up and we look at the things that are crossing, the news wires that we think are most interesting. And some of them that they're not most interesting. It's just that these are the things we want to talk about. Mm-hmm. One of the things that's been going on, Vic, is really the flooding in Pakistan. Pakistan, man.
Yeah.
Pakistan's been having a rough time lately, y'all. I don't know if you notice. Besides the fact that they're next door to Afghanistan, which has 7,000 drones, Pakistan had a plane crash, and now they've had massive floods, and they haven't really got deep into the monsoon season yet.
Yeah.
So it's really terrible. Take a look at the pictures that we're showing you here. But a lot of people being affected. We did this yesterday when we were quoting 1,100. Now they're quoting over 1,500 deaths. Really terrible, tragic, and still struggling to get out there to get to the people. Now here's where, to me, you could take some of them drones and divert them and do some humanitarian aid by helping to point out, people.
But you got a good point there, Mario. You got a very
Man,
good
you know
point.
what it is? Everybody says, I know. That's because I'm leftist. I'm concerned about your children, the environment. That's what leftist people are. We don't want to treat the world as our ashtray or our toilet.
Right.
And we get concerned about other folks. And we don't do a bunch of this us and them stuff. Like they say, aren't you more concerned with Americans? Not necessarily. I'm more concerned. I don't see that's that us and them stuff. I'm concerned with the people who most need concern.
Well, you're gonna have it's a great program that was on CNN where they had I can't remember the gentleman they were interviewing about the drones as it relates to how many, and he says, unfortunately, that number is very high, but you underestimate the power and the faith of the Islamic, community.
Oh, so you need extra drones because they're extra faithful.
What he's saying is, he had a good point. He says it sounds like it's a lot, but everything that Americans do militarily underestimates because they can't get the analytics on how many people truly, and the part that he talked about, the Pakistan relationship, how it's been presented as it being a flourishing one with the U.S.
Hey.
And it's not really like that, right?
No, it's not. Pakistan is a deep study of conflicts and conflicted interests. For real, Vic. I'm with you, Vic. So that's for sure. That's what makes these stories so difficult, you all, because the industry, the media, the so-called liberal press, which ain't so liberal, is going to attempt to frame and spin these in a ways that make it convenient, or they think easy for you to understand.
Right.
We rather present it to you with its full complexities.
Right.
And they'll say, we got to deal with it.
Of course.
These stories are not simple. They're not black and white. And that's the problem. People want it black and white. It ain't black and white. No. All right, let's go to see what now about the floods. And this is a piece that we were allowed to use from Al Jazeera. Let's take a look as they talk about the flooding in Pakistan. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm going to gather my stuff up. Well, it's buffering. Is it buffering?
That's what happens when you get a trade-off for the type of service you're using, man.
You mean free?
If you go get free, then you got to pay the consequences when you don't pay.
Good, cheap, or fast,
yeah.
But you only get two. If
right.
It's good and cheap, it ain't fast. It's good and fast, it ain't cheap.
Right.
You only get two.
Right. So what we get to do is have running commercials in between the commercials while this is running.
Oh, I got to bring the audio.
Well, that's okay because I was waiting for you.
I'm Debbie Gopalan with the top stories on Al Jazeera. U.S. Defense Secretary Robert Gates is cautioning that large numbers of troops will remain in Afghanistan after what he's called a limited drawdown beginning in July 2011. It comes as the commander of U.S. and NATO forces in Afghanistan, General David Petraeus, announced a new plan of action for the war. He says forces must now focus on earning the trust of the Afghan people while they try to defeat the Taliban. An explosion in the central Gaza house of a senior Hamas member has left at least 31 people injured. A Hamas medical officer says the blast was caused by an Israeli surface-to-surface rocket, but an Israeli army spokesman has denied that allegation. It's unclear whether the senior Hamas commander al-Danaf survived the blast. Pakistan is struggling to rescue tens of thousands of people who've been trapped by the worst flooding the country has seen in more than 80 years. More than 1,100 people have died, and that number is expected to rise. The government says about 1.5 million people have been affected. Well, our correspondent Suhail Rahman in the Swat Valley has more.
As thousands of stranded people are rescued by the military, the next big question that they have is where do they go for help, food and even shelter? It's a question that not very many people can answer. The aid agencies have said that they've set up camps in and around Swat and Bashar, for example, but nobody really knows where to go because the communication system is down, and trying to direct people to go into those locations when the highways and the roads are disrupted is very difficult.
At least 8 people have been killed in Indian-administered Kashmir as anti-India protests.
Hey, people have been asking us, Vic, why we so often use stories from Al Jazeera or from RT.com, and that's because it's amazing, you all. Even though we have the legal right, because we're doing news, this is not a for-profit venture here. We have the legal right to use those clips. The major media...